All right, what's going on, party people? We're back. Live Before Lock is back. We're still in away game here as we're still traveling. So I apologize. There's no value hunting this week. This is not close. This is way before lock. Like, we don't have nearly enough information to do this show, but we're going to do it anyways. We're joined by George. George, how are we doing? How was the Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. It was a time of overeating and selling lineups on Sorare. I think that's pretty much what I've done there. Not selling as in selling, but just flunking them all is what we'll say.
Oh, flunk. Okay, yeah, I did. Yeah. I was like, wait, you were just selling full lineups? I was like, this is like the Sorare NBA last year where you could just they were selling packages of squads. Yeah, I almost did really well, actually. My rare contending lineup almost popped because I had Dayron Sharp and forget who else. There was somebody else that dropped a big one, but Yuta did absolutely nothing. And Yuta, if I think I got 10 out of him, I would have snuck in a reward. But that's all right. We did great on the Underdog app. We had a hell of a week this week.
So. I did see that. You ate.
Yeah, we ate. And then last night we did all right too, and we followed Pete Overzet's picks on for like the football game. We hit that too. So you know what? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. All right. More importantly, yeah, I wasn't going to give away a rare tier card this show because it's not real Live Before Lock, it's more intimate. But then I just thought about doing this for like bang the drum there for the giveaway, as we're going to be talking about Andre Drummond. So there you go. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag bang the drum. And just like real quick before we get into it, we'll be back to our like normal, regular scheduled stuff starting on Monday. So I'll have a value hunting for the next game week, and I'll be back in New York, so it'll be easier to fire out the content. So this is the last away team stream, But all right, let's get into it. I don't know, where do you want to start before we like bring up the projections for Momentum Labs? Anything you want to like just some overarching stuff to get into?
Not overarching stuff, but I feel like all of these projections on Andre Drummond, I've never seen it more. It's like they're talking about prime Shaquille O'Neal this week is all I'm seeing. I'm seeing like 55-point projections. No, I'm not buying it. I'm not one on there for it.
I forget what his final line ended up being last night. I played him on Underdog that first game where Vooch got ruled out, and the only thing I was nervous about with that Chicago Indiana game was how fast paced it was going to be, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that plays him off the court a little bit. I mean, what's nice about him, I don't think he's going to kill you, but I think if you're like, oh, I'm going to play this 20 cap and he's going to hit 50, that makes me nervous. But I do think like he should be in line for a double-double almost every single time he goes out there if he's playing like 25 to 30 minutes. And if I cap a 20 and he's going to get you 14 points and 12 boards, I'll take that. I'll take that every time. And we did see he does have some upside, but it is kind of crazy that it's the year 2020, almost 2024, and we're out here talking about Andre Drummond.
It's more mad that I think we're in 2024 and Andre Drummond's only 30. I thought he was going to be like 35 or something. Like, he's 30 years old. I thought he was going to be way older than that.
Nope, no, he's still he's young. But he grew
Yeah.
in like a dog years, so he might only be 30, but that makes him like 210. How do I get? There should be a link in the show notes, Roy. If not, I will. I'll find that afterwards and send it to you, or post it in this video afterwards. It should be in the show notes. But I'm also doing this from remote location, so I don't have all my normal copy and paste game is a little off this time. So I'll take a look at it. Let's start over with underdog. We do have a ton of like questionable stuff to get started with, which always sucks, but we can pull this up. I can't believe Bradley Beal made the cover because I guess he might return, so he's
Yeah.
questionable. Real quick, just a note on the Celtic stuff. Also, I don't know how well people can see this. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were both questionable last night for the Detroit Pistons game, and they ruled out Jaylen Brown. And it didn't seem like it was anything serious. So this is just like a gut call here. My guess on the back-to-back is that Jaylen plays and Tatum doesn't.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'll point out, we haven't seen it yet. I imagine Porzingis doesn't play. And I know he's not questionable, but he hasn't played a back-to-back or a back-to-back, I guess. But he hasn't played a back-to-back. And so with that, I just kind of assume he's not going to play. And now
Is it?
both him. Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
Are the Celtics back to back? I thought they had a day off between them.
They
Are they
played last night.
Oh, right, that's what you mean. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So I just mean tonight. So yeah, maybe they like if you're still playing him for the second game, you can go for it. But with both Tatum, I'm assuming Tatum and Porzingis don't play, and if that is the case, it makes me really like Jaylen Brown, the White Holiday. Both of those guys get a boost. I mean, you could probably get weird with Al Horford, or I don't know. I don't know if Luke Cornett's back, but yeah. Anyways, just something to keep an eye out for the Celtics, and hopefully we get more news. Also, I apologize if my Wi-Fi gets a little spotty. I'm seeing an alert. All right, Kawhi's questionable. Giannis is probable. Ja's sick. It seems like everybody's sick. Wemby's unlikely to play. Donovan Mitchell's been sick for like 3 months. He's questionable. Simons missed last night's game. He was sick. He might still be sick. You got Aiton, who's got a knee injury. Claxton's probable. Shaden Sharp is TBD. Dorian Finney-Smith is probable, and Mark Williams is still TBD. Mark Williams has missed a ton of games, which has been really frustrating. And I'm just going to pop over to Underdog real quick just because I saw a couple other things come out this morning. So Bradley Beal participated in the shooting round. That's a good sign. Gary Harris is out for the Magic, which is actually a little interesting because with no Gary Harris and no Markelle Fultz, just like Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, all those guys become a little bit better. So there we go. That's the injury news that we got here. I don't know. Anything else before we dive into the projections that you want to get off your chest?
No, I think the main one will be for Anthony Davis to finally sit a goddamn game so I can play Jackson Hayes one week. That's all I've never seen a man more questionable for the entire season and play even game time decision. And he's like, nope, we're going to play. So that's all I want to get off my chest.
The Lakers have put Q tags on AD and LeBron every single game,
Yes,
and they've I think LeBron's missed a couple. I think AD's only missed 1 or 2 games this season. He's been pretty durable, which means he's about to pull a hammy because you get AD and durable. It's not usually something we say together. But all right, Chow in the chat saying it's Jakob Pertl weekend. Okay, that's interesting. And Weisberg letting us know that Cornette is back, but it's the Portuguese sensation Quito who's been getting more of the minutes. So there we go. All right, let's dive into some of these. We'll go same thing as always, right? So we'll go the lower end of the cap, 0 to 10. We'll throw out some good projections. George, you can chime in on some of the ones that you like every 10, and then we'll get into some of the questions and answers after that. So let's pull this bad boy up again. We're using our friend John Boy Skeets, Momentum Labs. So down in the lower end, the one that really jumped out to me, like you see. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure this is blown. Okay, we'll get even. We'll get a little bit bigger. Okay, now I don't care about that. Wait, hold on. Let me just see something. Okay, you guys can see. Sorry, guys. I'm also using a Mac, and I usually don't use a Mac, so this is a learning experience, really. Okay, so your boy Jackson Hayes, there he is, cap of 6 with a projection of 7. But the one that stood out to me here was where is he? Jayshawn Tate. So the Rockets are without Dylan Brooks for a little bit of time. And then I think Jabari Smith left the game and he was injured. Tari Eason's questionable. So Jayshawn Tate has a cap of 7 with a projection of 21. They only have 1 game this game week, so it's definitely a little bit risky with a guy like that. You see JaVale McGee's down there. Amir Coffey still getting some run. Bryce McGowan's. I feel like every year we're talking about Bryce McGowan's. He's got a cap of 8 with a projection of 15. We get into that 9 range. Larry Nance, who's missed a couple of games, he's got a cap of 9 with a projection of 15. Jalen Williams, J. Will of the Thunder, not J. Dub. He left the last game with a right hip contusion. He's questionable, cap a 9, projection of 12. And then Julian Champagne for the San Antonio Spurs. He gets a nice little boost too. Like everybody kind of gets a boost with Wemby out, but he's been playing a lot of minutes. And then of course, it's this year 2 of Sorare NBA, which means Jared Vanderbilt is projecting well. He's going to cap a 9 with a projection of 17. So in that kind of 0 to 10 range, anything that's got you going?
I think Champagne is my favorite one of it, primarily because he's already done it this season. We've seen him have scores. Like he had one for me last week. He's had a few 20 points. He had a 36. He even had like a 41, I think, towards the start of the year. So he's shown that if he gets hot, he can definitely score well for you. The Jay Sean Tate one, I don't mind on the limited side. I wouldn't gamble it, I think, on the rare streets just because of that one game. That's the primary concern that I've got with that side of things. And the thing with Vanderbilt is when he's in this starting lineup that they've kind of gone back to, he's looked like he can actually do something on the court as opposed to just run around and just like, oh, I'm going to guard you and just go like that. So I think those would be the 3 guys that I'd look at. I wouldn't really dive deeper into the ends of like the Javon Carters and the Ish Smiths because I think they're just going to do what we've seen them do all year, and they'll come in, they'll maybe get 15, and that'll be about it.
I haven't looked at the prices too much either, but the Vanderbilt stuff is kind of interesting just because I don't know how excited people are to play him from what we've seen so far this season. Because I agree with you, the last couple of games since he's entered the starting lineup, he has been way more productive, and I wonder if that'll be from the guys in that range. I wonder if he's the last one you want to click because because he's been, not poor, but he's done a lot of nothing so far this season.
Yes.
So I like that Vanderbilt call. All right, we'll jump into the 10-11 range here. So we see, you mentioned Javon Carter. Who cares? We've got Caleb Houston from the Orlando Magic. Cam Whitmore, again, because of that Houston injury, he's going to cap a 10 with a projection of 16. And then Alec Burks, who Monty Williams just loves, baby. He's going to cap a 10 with a projection of 22 for Detroit. They only have one game this game week, though, so keep that in mind. As we get into the 11 range, we've got Amin Thompson, again, Houston. He's popping a little bit. Cap of 11 with a projection of 17.5. And the 12 range, we got anybody we like here? Georges Niang, Drew Eubanks, who I don't think I'll ever play again. We've got Paul Reed. It is Paul Reed night again. Look at this. Cap of 13 with a projection of 29. We saw him lose his starting role for the second half of the first game he played where Mo Bamba came. We had a Mo Bamba night, George. Were you on Mo Bamba that night?
I wasn't. I had someone tweeted me their lineup and he had Mo Bamba. I was like, damn, I like that. And then witnessed the like 11-18 game or whatever he had. And I was like, damn, I should have been on that.
Someone's either both playing really well and somebody's playing really poor. We're at halftime. They're like, you know what, dude, you're staying in. We're messing with the starting lineup. Keita, who we talked about, he's got a cap of 14 with a projection 18.6. Nikhil Alexander-Walker projects okay. When we get into the 15 range, the big one is Xavier Tillman. His caps come all the way down to 15. They got 2 games this game week. I like Tillman with Ja back because I feel like Tillman's he's like a discount Steven Adams, a much poorer version of him, but they do the pick and roll pretty well together. So I kind of like Tillman with him back. Trey Jones is a cap of 16 with a projection of 24. Again, no Wemby, so more usage should go around. Kevin Huerter's down there. You also see Jalen Smith, who's actually had like a nice bounce back year for the Pacers, even though the Pacers have fallen off lately. And then let's see, 18, we've got Isaac Okoro, who again projects okay, 18 with a projection of 23. And the 19 range, you see Rui, Kispert, Gary Trent Jr., Peyton Watson, Kelly Oubre's got a nice little projection, then Caruso. And then we'll end with 20 here. Is there anybody in the 20 range? Harrison Barnes is fine. Josh Hart, Wiggins, who good luck guessing him correctly. But Andre Drummond, there it is, cap of 20 with a projection of 44 by John Boy Beats. I don't know. So that 10 to 20, how are we feeling?
So realistically, Andre Drummond probably is going to be the best one in this range, but I'm not buying a 50 or 40 point Sorare. I would be amazed just because that game that he had not last night, the night before, where he dropped like 65 on Sorare, that's the best score he's had like almost ever in his career. If you go and look historically, he like even at his prime, he was rarely getting near that, is what I saw. So I don't think he's going to be in that streets, but I do think you could probably make the argument he's going to get around the 40 mark, which then makes him obviously a really top tier play this week. I also like Paul Reed. I like Paul Reed, obviously. I really like Kelly Oubre Jr., especially if Embiid's sitting. I just feel like he's a little bit more of a solid player, especially at 19. I think Kelly Oubre you can bank on. And then the other one that I didn't mind was Trey Jones for the Spurs.
Yeah.
Primarily because he's going to be in that more traditional point guard role, especially if Wemby's out, Sohan back at his normal position. I think at 16, he's quite a good player as well.
No, I like that a lot. Yeah, we should have mentioned. I don't think he was listed because he was already ruled out, but Embiid's not playing tonight, so that's obviously why Reed projects well. Kelly Oubre and then Tobias Harris, who we'll talk about, has been playing pretty well without Embiid as well because the usage goes around. Maxi's been kind of tough to nail down with no Embiid. I actually think his ceiling and floor like come down a little bit, which is kind of bizarre. But all right, let's go in this 20 to 30 range. We've got, hold on, let me blow this up a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. There we go. All right, so we talked about Drummond in the 21 to 30 range. Anybody we like here? Sohan, again, all the Spurs are going to project okay. They got 2 games with one of them against Portland, which is fun. Scoot Henderson, he's got a cap tournament projection of 24. KCP projects fine. Anybody that's really popping here? Nobody in the 22 range, really the 23 range either. Suggs, we already kind of talked about. Nick Richards been playing okay for the Hornets with no Mark Williams. He's been doing fine. Karis LeVert, I guess the Donovan Mitchell stuff is important where if there's no Donovan, we've got a couple of games that we've seen so far with no Donovan. So like you can see it's either Porter Jr. or Karis LeVert takes the step up. But they're playing Milwaukee tonight, which, we like targeting guards against them. So if there's no Donovan, I think you want to fire that up. Porter Jr., I'm sure his cap's a little bit higher. Jaime Jaquez, they've got one game this game weekend. He's going to cap at 25. I like that a lot more if Jimmy Butler doesn't play one of those games. But and then Zach Collins, again, no Wemby, cap at 25, projection at 38. So there you go. That's your Drummond light, if you will. And then you see Jordan Poole, which I'm sure George will weigh on here. In the second, D'Anthony Melton, Jalen Duren, who's back and has looked pretty good. Devin Vassell. Michael Porter Jr.'s cap is down to 28. That's kind of nice. I also wonder if Jamal Murray ends up sitting because it's a back-to-back. But they kind of handled business last night in a blowout, so maybe not. And then there's Tobias Harris right there. His cap at 29, projection of 33. But I feel like that's got a little bit room to run. I don't know. How are we feeling about that?
So, I mean, when I was looking through this range here earlier, I think Malcolm Brogdon's one of the big steals in here at 25.
There you go.
Obviously, he's playing the Spurs. Brogdon as well, interestingly to note, is the same price on limited and rare as Andre Drummond. And if you want someone that you can actually use more than maybe the next 2 game weeks, I'd definitely go and pick up Malcolm Brogdon. And I don't think there'll be too much of a disparity between their scores for it either. I also like the look of, where was he? Who was I looking at earlier? Where is it? Cole Anthony was the other one I didn't mind. 27, 2 games with the Magic, but it's more that back end game with the Suns. I know Bradley Beal might come back, but I just feel the Suns are in a really weird place right now, and the Magic aren't. So if I was going to run on anyone, it would be Cole Anthony for that side. And there's a few other plays that are not too bad, but yeah, I mean, again, it's just going to be Brogdon and Drummond. I think they're going to be the top tiers for me.
Yeah, I think that's right. I like that Cole Anthony call again because Beal coming back doesn't really shore up the defensive side of things for the Phoenix. So, and because again, no Gary Harris, it's just like a few more guard minutes to go around, and we know when Cole's out there, he produces. He's just like he's coming off the bench, so you need him to get those minutes. All right, I'm going to scroll through 30 to 40 quickly. Jared Allen's been playing pretty well. Mikal Bridges coming off that weird ass Brooklyn game the other night. He's got a cap of 31 with a projection of 40. I wouldn't be too freaked out by that. That was like just a one-off thing that Jacques Vaughn was doing. Claxton, we said, is probable. He projects nice, cap at 32 with a projection of 37. Let's see. Anybody else in the dark green here? Kuz. The Kuz has a cap at 35, almost get at 40 with a projection. Anybody else here that we need to shout? I don't know. Anybody? And then, Şengün, who I saw people talking about in the chat. Got one game this game week, cap at 39, projection of 46. He's picked it back up. Anybody, I guess, really from 30 on? Is there anybody that you're like forcing your way into a lineup this game week?
I think forcing would be strong. Like we said at the top, I think if Tatum and Porzingis sit one of these games tonight, I do really like Jaylen Brown. I think he'll be a solid pickup for it. I think Mikal Bridges at 31 is really, really low, like we've said as well. But the other guy would probably be that I would lean towards, and I know he's only got one game, but it's Anthony Edwards. He came off of a really good game last night. They're playing the Lakers. I'm not on the Lakers at all. I've not liked them this year in terms of what I've seen from them. And I have really liked what I've seen from the Timberwolves. And coming off of that game last night, he's going to go at them and attack them. And he's one of these guys, whenever he mentions it, he always wants to be like, I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to do everything. So I feel like this could be a game for him. So if that's just a gut call one, that isn't a projection. But yeah, Anthony Edwards would be someone I look at.
Yeah, I like that. All right, you know what we're going to do here? We'll just get into some of these questions. I'm just going to remind the people, though, why don't we like the stream, subscribe, and head on over to the chat and put in hashtag bang the drum. We've got 43 entrants and only 61 watching, so you're going to get those in. And then, George, I don't know, you want to plug some stuff you got going on in the Swingman Pod? After this is over, I'll add your link into the show notes once I have my normal stuff. But yeah, what do you got going on over there?
Yeah, so I mean, I've got actually a lineup video coming out in 10 minutes. So it's going to have all of the lineups that I'm going to be running. Yeah, I'll drop the link for that when that comes out live. So that's my Game Week 19 lineup video that's going to be in there. And yeah, I mean, we sat down, we had a little discussion about the NBA at Christmas, who our thoughts were going to be around for the slate of games, what happened, what we're expecting to see in the new year as well. So come and check us out over there. Drop a sub; it'd mean the world to me.
Awesome. All right, cool. Yeah, if you guys want to start firing questions, I saw Diogo put the same question in like 45 times, so I'm excited to get to that one, Diogo. All right, so Jamie, Jamie said that I saw the Nets ruled out and thought Cam Thomas was going to go score 40 in real life. Yeah, man, I fell victim to that too. I saw early on that I was like, you know what, I don't think Mikal Bridges is going to play this game. And I hit the Cam Thomas overs. I drafted him a bunch in underdog, and Jacques Vaughn. I got Jacques Vaughn, baby. I got Jacques, but I can't complain because even on that night, I still somehow took down a tournament. All right, so I'm gonna go back over to Momentum Labs. The question on Moses Brown. So the problem you're gonna run into with Moses Brown, who I actually like as a fantasy point per minute guy, is you need to know if DeAndre Ayton's playing, and I don't think you're gonna have that information prior to lock. Because they're playing in Portland, I think, right, with San Antonio. So Moses Brown is not projecting right now, which I actually think is not completely right. But if DeAndre Ayton's ruled out, I mean, I think it's a fine click. But if DeAndre Ayton playing, I just, it's you're taking an L there. I don't know. Do you have any Moses Brown thoughts?
Yeah, it is all dependent on the DeAndre Ayton news. I don't think he'll play. But that's just, again, it's a gut. That isn't me like going off of anything. Yeah. So I would err on the side of caution with that. Make a lineup with him in and then make a lineup without him in is what I'd say.
There you go. That's the way to do it. 3DK says Sabonis and Jared Allen or DeJounte Murray and Siakam. You know what? I've been like allergic to DeJounte Murray this year. If Trae Young is playing, and I know he can still get there and I know his cap reflects it. I think I would much rather take the upside on Sabonis and Allen than I would on Murray and Siakam. Do you land there as well?
Yeah, DeJounte Murray, especially, I mean, he's a very strange one right now. And if he goes to the Lakers, I like him even less is the issue with him if you're going to buy him. So if we're asking to pick the two, I'm definitely leaning on Sabonis and Allen, 100%.
Yeah. And I know Siakam has a ceiling too, but I feel like Siakam's been almost every other game. He's been tough to peg down. Roy's asked about Sammy Hauser. Yeah, again, I think you can't really click this one until we get the news of who's playing and who's not. Like right now, he's got a cap of 17, a projection of 17. I think if both Porzingis and Tatum are out, he's going to play like 30 minutes. So I think you can go for that. All right. Roy also asked Şengün, Ant, Cade, or Paolo, assuming you can only pick one. I mean, we kind of already talked about Şengün and Ant a little bit. I feel like those are clearly the two. I think those separate themselves a little bit from Cade and Paolo.
Has Şengün got 2 games this week, or is he just one?
No, just the one. Just the one.
So on that, you can look at Paolo because he'll have the 2 games, but I would still probably lean Şengün just because he's playing up against Mo Bamba or Paul Reed, is what I'd say.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, like with no Jabari too, it just means not that he's not getting his shots, but with no Jabari, I think Jabari's been ruled out, right? Am I making that up?
Jabari Smith Jr.?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything on that, so I have no idea.
Maybe it was just he didn't come back. So pay attention to that. But yeah, anyways, if Jabari is ruled out, that's just more shots going to him. Steve is asking about Luke Cornett or Doug McDermott. Just, Cornett, obviously Cornett. Jalen McDaniels, Jesus. Let's see what Jalen is doing here. Jalen McDaniels has a cap of 6. Oh, and a projection of 12. There you go. So I probably went over him too quickly. So Just a smash play there, Torb.
Yeah, that's an underdog play if I've ever seen it. That's where I'd be throwing him in. I wouldn't throw him in a champion or contender.
Yeah. Ian is asking when rewards come out. I, contrary to popular belief, do not work for Sorare. So I'm unsure. I would imagine before this game week fires up.
Yeah, it's quite late for it. Normally rewards are out by now, so
yeah,
they'll probably be out really soon.
Yeah, I would think so. Was Gary Trent starting a one-off? Yeah, that's a great question, Al. I'm not really sure. Um, it seemed to work, right? Because Dennis Schroeder like balled out after that, coming off the bench. But I don't really know. Toronto seems to be a little bit in a free fall, so I can't really peg them. Franz or Bogdan? I mean, Bogdan has been balling, but I feel like this is Franz. Let's look up their projections. I don't know. You got anything on these bros?
I would be going for. I'd be going for Franz.
Yeah. So Franz projects a little bit better. Bogdan's cap's a little bit higher too. I think I would go Franz as well. I mean, I know Bogdan's been awesome. So Bogdan has been awesome. If somehow like DeJounte or Trey misses a game, but I think I would lean Franz. Roy's asking about Zion's cap. It's only 35. Let's see what his projection is. Zion is, man, he's been tricky as well. He's got a cap at 35. He just projects at 36. Projections don't like Zion this season. I still like him, but it's tough.
What do you think about his tattoo?
Yeah, I was confused why it's not centered.
That's I think what everyone thinks.
Yeah, that was a little bizarre. The weird artistic choice there. I'm sure there's a reason, maybe. Jamal Kane. Who's out for Miami that Jamal Kane is a good play?
Ian Curtin coming up with the Jamal Kane pick. I've not seen anything on Jamal Kane.
Yeah, I haven't either. I don't even know. I don't have my phone next to me. I'm not even sure what he did last night with no Jimmy. But anyways, all right. Halyard's saying Michael Porter Jr., Brogdon, Vassell, Zach Collins, Cam Thomas. Pick 3 of these. Well, Brogdon, Vassell, and Collins, I feel like are the 3 that I would take just because that's a fun little game stack because they're playing each other if it goes to overtime. But those seem to be the ones that projected the best. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Brogdon and Vassell are the 2 definites, and then to me it'd be I'd probably actually lean Cam Thomas just because he's playing the Wizards.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Kane killed the Warriors last night. All right, there you go. Maybe Kane earned himself some more minutes. Maybe Ian, you were ahead of the game, man. You were ahead of the game. I didn't watch much of that game. Who would you take for MVP considering the Q tags? AD, who got Minnesota and New Orleans. Luka, who only has 1 game. Giannis only has 1 game. So Giannis is playing. I think he's probable.
Yeah,
so I imagine
he's probable.
Giannis is playing. I will say though, especially if Donovan. Well, actually, I don't know that. I think it's Giannis's 1, and then I would pick Anthony Davis second because I don't think Anthony Davis is missing both games. Like he's guaranteed to play a game. Where Luka, if he misses, although I think Luka's playing, I think Luka was just resting on that second night of the back-to-back.
If I get the news for it, so I've played currently. I've got Giannis, so I've got my MVPs are Giannis, Embiid, and Luka. They're the 3 guys that I've got. I'm playing Giannis because he was the only one that's like he's probable he's going to play. If I get any news, I don't think Embiid will play in either. I think if I get any news that Luka starts, I'm going to swap him out for Luka because Luka against that Golden State team is a better matchup than it would be for Giannis for the Cavs. So
absolutely,
that's where I'd lean on that.
Absolutely. David was asking, hey, Hartenstein with 2 games, Michael Porter Jr. or Jared Allen. We haven't talked about Hartenstein, who if he can stay out of foul trouble, is pretty fun, and especially because he's going to play all the minutes. He's got a cap of 28 with a projection of 30. Porter Jr., I believe, has a cap of 28 with a projection of 36. So Porter Jr. projects the best of these. Actually, Allen might project the best. Hold on. Allen has a cap. All right, so Michael Porter Jr. projects the best. Allen second. I do like the 2 games from Hartenstein, though. I don't know. I might just go Hartenstein since it's pretty close.
I think I'd lean Hartenstein, but I do like Michael Porter Jr. this week. But yeah, I think if I'm picking one of them, I would lean on Isaiah.
Yeah, I think so too. Weisberg saying Dinwiddie or Brogdon. I think it's always going to be Brogdon or anybody this week. It's probably going to be Brogdon. I'll pull up Dinwiddie's projections though, just so you see it. Cap at 33, projection at 33. So there you go. There we go. Joker Rock saying, is it okay to trust Tatum for a game this weekend? And Maxey, okay, 2 different questions. Yeah, I think if Tatum sits this one, he'll play the second one, right? Is that the lean you have on that too? Like, it doesn't seem like this is a real injury.
No, I think it was injury management was what the tag was, wasn't it? So I think it's just they're just cautious with him. So he might even just play tonight, and then if they're leading, he'll sit early. But
Yeah,
he'll play one of these games, I feel.
I think that's right. And then the second part of the question, Maxi or Brunson? Man, let's see. Let's pull up the projections. I feel like I'm supposed to say Maxi with no Embiid, but he's just been kind of bad.
I
Cap
think
of 41. Sorry, go ahead.
Max is projecting well, but he hasn't been looking. I think the issue is when Embiid doesn't play there, he's getting doubled a lot more, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where he's then not showing what he can do when he's just up on a one-on-one. I also
Yeah.
don't mind Brunson on that game against Indiana.
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculously fast-paced, and I think he'll do quite well in that game. So if you've got a Brunson and you're not really feeling Maxi, I'd shoot for Brunson.
Yeah, I think I'd go Brunson. I think like Maxi probably has the higher ceiling, and like in case they don't double him tonight or something. But Brunson has been pretty consistent, so I think I would lean Brunson. Let's see. Mikal Bridges is a good pick. Yeah, I know his cap's low, but I think that's fine. Jalen Johnson or Pajemski. Jalen Johnson, who's back in action, which is fun. He's got a cap of 32, the projection of 33, and the Pod God has a cap of 28 with a projection of 30. So Jalen Johnson projects a little bit better. I don't know. Do you trust the projections, or are you a Pod God guy?
Do you know what? Off of just pure eye test, I'd be going for Pod. Is what I'd be going for.
Yeah,
That's
he's been
what it is. He's looked really good.
he's been fun. Halyard asked about Fox, who's got a cap of 47 and projection of 45. DJP Swan, play Halley and Barnes, or play one of the two and spread the funds. Oh, Halley and Scotty Barnes. I mean, I feel like I need more information to answer that.
Yeah. Give us some options. Give us the and/or questions. Is what we need. We can't be doing hypotheticals like this.
Here we go. Patrick saying Duran with one game or Tobias with two. I think without Embiid, it's got to be Tobias.
Tobias,
right?
definitely. Tobias Harris has also shown he can hit like a 40, even 50-point Sorare game. So
Yeah.
definitely Tobias Harris.
Sorare rewards is Booker, Tatum, or Curry. I don't think I'm picking Curry until I actually see Curry put up a ceiling game. I know Booker's playing tonight, so I'd pick him first. I'd probably put him in the order you got him.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting. The thing with Booker is he's been kind of low scoring. He's had like a floor. He's been always getting 40, but he's not really gone off for a massive game yet. So it would be interesting to see how he looks when you've got KD and Beal and that all gets settled in, because it might see him actually take more productive shots and it'd be a little bit better around the court. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But yeah,
and maybe we just see his
assist
rate. Sorry, in the order. Yeah. I think we might see his assist rate go back up too. It was funny. I was team Booker over everybody else on the Suns for a while, and then Kevin Durant decided the last two games to just go ham. I think once everybody was like, "Oh, is Durant going to leave Phoenix too?" He got pissed off. So, Jamie said, "What happened to Wendell Carter this season?" So Wendell Carter Jr. started off great, then he got hurt, and he's been back for like a week now. But they were really limiting his minutes, so he's not. I think he's just getting up to full strength now. Ian, first Jamal Cain, now Jared Butler. Man, I don't. Are you just saying names? He's not projecting at all. But listen, you also said that about Jamal Cain, who balled out last night. So maybe Ian. Nick saying Westbrook or Oubre in contender. I'll let you take that one, George. What do you like?
That is Oubre all day long. Westbrook, you need the guys to sit, and these guys have not sat yet. So Oubre's got 2 games. He's got like a low. I think he's got an even lower L10 than Westbrook. So I'd definitely be going there.
Yeah, I know Kawhi is still questionable, and he missed like the last game or two. But I feel like he's going to be back tonight. But if he's out, I mean, I wish Harden or George would be out, honestly, for Russ. But he has looked solid. Bottom line saying Jared Butler's the community alpha for the win there. There you go. All right, let's. I'll do a couple more questions, and we might wrap up a little bit earlier than normal. Kawhi isn't participating in shoot around. All right, that's good to know. That makes me think he's not going to play. Diogo, we were talking about LeVert earlier. I think LeVert's fine. I think LeVert's actually fine, even if Donovan Mitchell plays, but he's a great play if Donovan Mitchell doesn't play. So you have that. Middleton, Portis, or Beasley. Middleton seems like he's back in form, huh?
Yeah, I mean, in the way in which you can look for a Chris Middleton game. However, I've played him every time. Even when he's a good player, I watch him and just am terrified. Anytime he falls to the floor, then I'm like, oh, he's done. He's out now for 3 months. Like that's how I always look at it.
I think of those three though, I would want to play Middleton because I like Middleton in 30 minutes. I'll take over Portis in 25 or Beasley in 45. Like Beasley doesn't do shit. I mean, you have to get lucky when he's hot from three. I don't want to do that. Borland's saying Beal is back, so we got that. Is that official? I don't have.
Yeah, he's back. He's available to play.
Beal.
Yeah.
We love to see it. All right, DJP saying, here we go. Hallie Barnes, Maxey, Trey Jones, or Hallie Barnes, Niang, Muscala. Hallie Barnes. Oh, I'm sorry. Or
I'm going for the first one.
Yeah,
Trey Jones and Maxey is where I'm going.
Yeah. Sorry, that took me a second. Oh yeah, you got to talk about Jordan Poole, man. How do you feel about Jordan Poole?
So I look, whenever he's around this sort of, and it is what was said on the comment, whenever he is around that cap of 20, 25, 26, I am just going to play him unless I've got a 5-man stack that fits perfectly that I think are all better. But he has the capabilities to go into the 40s and the 50s. Like he's done it, and he's even done it this year for the Wizards. But he's also got the capability of dropping like 10 because it doesn't matter, and he doesn't care what he's doing. So you've got to, if you're playing Jordan Poole, you have to accept the fact that you might get nothing. That's pretty much how you have to do it.
I love that. Travel Addict guy, there you go. Bought some limited cards. Welcome. Lauri Markkanen or Banchero. I don't know why I always lean Lauri Markkanen. I think I feel like he's a secure double-double every time. But man, it's pretty close. I think I would lean Lauri, but I don't think you can go wrong there. I don't know. Do you have a strong take on that?
I'm the complete opposite. I'd never really liked playing Lauri Markkanen. I was never really on him last year for it. I would always lean for Banchero, and if you're going to go and buy one of them, I'd definitely go and buy Banchero over on Markkanen.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Does Nurk score better or worse if the big three play? I mean, his usage definitely goes down. So he might get some easier buckets, but his usage definitely goes down. I like playing Nurk when one of them is out. All right, here we go. We're to the trash bins here. Would you rather play Jayshawn Tate with a cap of 7 or Burks with a cap of
10? I am so mid on either of these, but it would be Jayshawn Tate is where I'd go.
Yeah, I think so too. I think at that point I'd rather just save the 3 cap, assuming they both put up similar scores. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is good forever, Joe. So you can always play him. Murray and go ahead.
Jaylen Brown questionable for Friday. Kristaps Porzingis doubtful for Friday. Drew Holiday questionable for Friday. So if they've not mentioned anything yet, they've not mentioned anything yet on Tatum or Derek White.
Well, I think they had already given Tatum the questionable designation.
Oh, is he right? Okay.
So
Al Horford out. Yeah, Al Horford resting. So this is going to be that. It's going to be the Portuguese sensation games. There we go.
But I'm telling you, man, if Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Sammy Hauser, like all those guys now become. I think they're an early game, right? They're at home, so we should have that information before lock. But yeah, man, there we go. Boston blowing it up. All right, let's see. I feel like Shia LaBeouf do a video anytime I'm playing pool. There you go. Thank you guys. Thoughts about the Hawks player? DJ, I'm only playing Trae Young and Jalen Johnson right now. D4 Win says Jalen Johnson, J-Dub, or Drew Holiday. Well, now with Drew Holiday questionable, I think it's probably J-Dub or Jalen Johnson. I don't know. I like J-Dub, but I think I'd lean him.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What's better projecting, Barnes or Hallie? All right, let's see. We got Scotty projects cap of 50 with a projection of 44. Halliburton cap of 45, projection of 51. So Halliburton projects a lot better. Let's see. All right, I think we're going to call it here, guys. Yeah, it's key to season. Derek White game, Herter or Hauser. Hauser playing with Derek White. All right, we're going to call it. Because
I was going to say, have you seen the latest tweet from Nikola, the top dog, Nicholas?
No, what is it?
Sorare. So it's basically like a roadmap, and I figured we can talk about this in depth more when we sit down and we do sharps. But
yeah,
he had a tweet today. He sent a tweet about an hour or so ago, basically just doing like a big old roadmap of what everyone can expect for the first Q of 2024, and it's got everyone in the community really, really positive and happy about it. Also, it's in a bit of a different place now.
Did he talk about basketball, or was it just so rare in general?
It was just so rare in general. I think he's trying to get it all aligned, and he wants to get them all sort of set in its ways. And hopefully we see some of these changes soon.
I did. You know, it's funny. I saw. I mean, the good news, right? The collection bonuses come out, which I know a lot of people are waiting for and we're excited about. I personally don't care as much, only because I've gone through this with Top Shot, and I'm like, I don't just be good at the thing that you're good at. But whatever, the collection bonus, good. Congrats to everybody. I did think it was funny that they waited till now, because I assumed we were going to be like, oh, the reason we get to push basketball back is because it's different than what we've already done. And then it's kind of word for word the same thing that they're doing in the football
Well,
side, right?
yeah, I mean it's even missing things, which was the other thing. Like on the collection side for the football, you can go into like I've got the Sixers one done, and I'm
Hmm.
460 score or whatever I was, and I was like, oh, I wonder where I am on the leaderboard, because on the football side you can see where you are then on the leaderboard for it, because then they
Yeah.
give stuff out to people depending on where they are. There's no leaderboard there. I wanted to then check, like, if I click on a card to see how many days I've owned it for to get the 90-day bonus, how
Oh,
far along
right.
am I? You can't see that. So there are still
Oh,
things that aren't on the NBA side for it. So I'm sure that they'll update it and it will come where it is. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing it's here. The bonuses are there, which is nice. My Embiid now gets 10%, which is lovely. So there's all of these
it's
sort of things
great.
that come with it. This isn't the thing to moan about for it. It's good that it's finally here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. It's just the timing. I was curious what it would look
Yeah.
like. All right, gang, we're gonna call it there. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I apologize that we did it, 5 hours earlier than we normally do. And I know this might not be super helpful, but because projections will change aggressively as we get more injury news, but that's what you got. It's the holidays, okay?
Yeah.
On Monday we'll be back. We'll have value. I'll actually try to get value hunting up on Sunday. And then we'll have live before lock on Monday and Friday next week at our normal time at 5:30. George and I will be back on Wednesday. Shot Tank will be back on Wednesday. All of the normal content will be back. So this is the last call. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag bang the drum. If you win this thing, shoot me a DM at Mike Zakarian, or you can tweet at me or get in the Discord, all the things. You'll probably get this on Monday, because I'm just not going to do it right now. We'll see who the winner is. Here we go. I see some old names. Chickenford, Tyler Sprague. Let's go, Tyler. Look at Tyler. And those holiday photos, Tyler. You look like you're in.
It does look it. Yeah.
Yeah, some pines. And there's some pines behind you, Tyler. You guys must be fucking cold, Tyler. You put a jacket on out there. There's snow on the ground, Tyler. Get yourself a jacket. Uh, Congrats to Tyler Sprague. George, man, thanks for coming on, being available today. And actually, this time is probably way better for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's like 6 p.m. here for me now. I just linked in the chat as well my latest Sorare lineup video. It just came live about 10 minutes ago. So,
Perfect.
now that we're wrapping up here, go over and watch that. Drop a sub over there as well. That would be great.
Yeah, go check. What's our numbers looking like over there? Did we get over 750 yet?
Yeah, we're like 770 now. I think we're at now. So we're cooking up.
Going, baby.
We're cooking up. We're on the race. We're on that race. We're on the road to 1,000. That's what we're trying to aim for. So yeah, every little helps.
We're over here. We're at 484. We're 16 away from giving that away. That KD and Jalen Brunson.
I just see, boy, yeah, we were playing about with it today. So like, I done like a dramatic thing. I think the schedule tweet went live on it, but it was like my last Sorare lineup. It's like all like black and white and gloomy, and like everything,
oh wow,
everyone's like it's all going. It's just because it's the last lineup.
Last one of the year. I got you.
There's the clickbait. There it is.
I love it. There we go. Tyler's in the chat. I'm waiting for Tyler to tell me how cold it was though when he was taking those photos, man. But congrats, yeah, Tyler. Just if you can't DM me on Twitter, you can just like tweet at me, or just there's a link to join the Discord too. Jump in there, and we'll do that. But yeah, dude, for George and the Swingman Pod, for myself, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Hope everybody's had a great holiday. Have a safe New Year. Get after it. Good luck this game week. Let's go to the Portuguese sensation, Kita. We're out.